right, let's go. Ilona Maher, welcome to the Female Athlete Project.
Thank you for having me. This was such late notice. I messaged you, I think, on Monday. I was like, hey, you still want to do that podcast? And you flew down here. You made it work.
Yeah, we made it work. I mean, I think you were worth the time, but we made it work.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We always start our podcast, we go back to childhood. Can you describe Ilona as a little kid?
She was, a very strong kid physically. She was always a bigger kid than the other kids and never understood why she was bigger. And she loved sports. I think sports was a place where she could really express herself because she was so good at them. Like, you put her on a softball diamond and she was whamming pitches in there. I think she was unsure of herself at a lot of times, but through like activity and stuff like that, she found a place. Had trouble making friends, was definitely a little socially awkward. Came from a small Catholic school.
Okay.
So I didn't know how to actually talk to people, which a lot of people don't think, but if you talk to my family, it's completely different. I mean, I was didn't know how to do it, and in high school was still trying to find my place. So I think I blossomed late college, but definitely not a sheltered life, but I had I had everything I needed. My parents worked very hard for my sisters and I. And we forever grateful because they've, I think everything they've done has led me to this.
Was that religious school upbringing? I don't know if that was part of your family as well. Like I found for me, so I grew up in a Christian family, and that intersection between my sheltered Christian family life and the sport was kind of a weird thing because there was like, you're very sheltered in one sense, but then the sport element socially opens up a lot of doors.
Yes. So I went to like Catholic school. In my class, I graduated in a class of 9 people. And then after that, the school shut down because they just didn't have enough people. But I would go play sports at the local middle school.
Yeah.
And one of my classmates and we would walk to middle school, and middle schoolers are scary. They're scary kids.
Even as an adult middle schooler.
Even if they walk past me on the street, I'm like, don't look at them. Don't look at them. So we would play field hockey and softball at the local middle school. And that was kind of like where I would get out of that sheltered life. It was in my class was, I think 6 girls, 3 boys, and they were my brothers and sisters. So then when I go to this middle school, the girls are wearing their layered tank tops, and they had their cool Abercrombie stuff on, and I've been wearing my uniform all day. So it was definitely that exposure. I think it was good. It wasn't fun. It was very hard. The thing that helped me was I was so good at the sports I was doing. So then you find your place there. But it was very hard. My mom just told me, just go and find a group of girls and just stand there, and then you're part of the group. So I would just go stand there like a weirdo, and a lot of I now know some of them would say like, yeah, we thought you were weird. True. But that was kind of my intersection of like learning, and then high school learned a little more, but I am constantly kind of figuring out. I think sometimes I'm still that little awkward girl, and I kind of now owned it, the awkwardness, but it has me throughout.
Yeah. What did you love about sport? Like, obviously you were good at it, but what did you love about it?
I think that, and I talk about it a lot, but always feeling very big and not understanding, like, why do I look this way? And yet I'm so good, and I'm faster than those girls. I'm fitter than the skinnier girls. I just never understood it. And so sport, I think, gave me a place where, like, I felt like I belonged. Like, and I probably same in Australia, but when you're good at a sport in America, that's top notch.
Got ya.
We love athletes, that's like, you could be the smartest kid in school, but we care about the quarterback. So for me, it was like, that was kind of how I earned my respect through sport. And it gave me something to understand what my body's capable of. I think I realize it. Probably back then I didn't realize it. But I always just encouraged anything to get into any sport. I push rugby, but it can be any, because I think it just really helped me to see what this is capable of when I never felt like I really was the standard of maybe beauty or size.
And when did rugby come into the picture?
That wasn't until senior year of high school, which is, I don't know what yours, what would that be?
Year 12.
Year 12. I'd always been a very high level athlete. My dad is actually a rugby player. He's played for like 40 years now, and he loves it, but
still playing?
Not anymore. I think his last game was probably like 3 years ago, and that was like, all right, or maybe even more. They play for a long time, those old boys. They keep going. But he never encouraged us to play because there was never high-level rugby
Got ya.
around. So why would I put my daughter in, some rugby when she could go be playing varsity basketball and having funding through basketball and softball, and she can go to softball pitching clinics and do travel basketball. So he loves rugby. He would have wanted to get us into it, but he also wanted the best for us.
Mm.
So I never tried it out until senior year when I just kind of decided softball wasn't for me, which I'd known it wasn't for me.
Mm.
Whenever I was with my sister, whenever Olivia would be pitching, I'd be in the outfield. And I probably had a terrible attitude the whole time because I just I wasn't really the biggest fan of the sport. But I just said, Dad, I don't want to play softball. He's like, okay, we have to do something. And so I said, well, there's the local rugby club. I could go try that out. And I got there, I think practice started at 3:30 p.m. or something. And I get there, as a varsity athlete, boots on, 3:15, I'm ready to go. I'm sitting on this bench like, what is going on? Nobody's here yet. So I call my dad up. Dad, there's I don't think practice is today. There's nobody here. He said, just wait. And then as it gets closer to the time, 3:30, 3:25, 3:30, people start rolling in. And I'm like, okay, this is club rugby. This isn't what I've been playing. But it was so fun because it was people were there to have fun. And it was almost the first time I was making actual friends, just being myself. And I loved it. And then made the late decision to go play in college. I was going to go to kind of the local university and try to play field hockey there. But it was so close to home, like a mile away from home, and I didn't want to. So I made such a kind of a statement in my first few games of rugby and was picked up to play in a college in Vermont and then transferred and just kind of kept playing.
And so before you transferred, is it right that the coach of that college saw you playing, was like, I want you to come with us?
The transfer college?
Yeah.
So it's all very harsh in America. Coaches can't do that because of NCAA rules.
Got ya.
So she noticed me because I used to wear a pink scrum cap, and we played them. And I played for Norwich University, and then I transferred to Quinnipiac University. And when we played Quinnipiac, I scored 3 tries. I mean, I was balling out in college ball. I mean, I was really a sight to behold. Not anymore, but a sight to behold in college ball. So I was really doing well, and I wanted to transfer. I was not happy with my situation, so I sent her a message, hey, my name's Ilona Maher. I was that girl in the pink scrum cap. I scored 3 tries on you. Is there an opportunity to transfer? And there's a lot of rules that go on, she can't talk to you or something. So we kind of figured that all out, and I went and visited it, and I realized it was kind of the environment I wanted to be in. Definitely didn't want to be. I never pictured myself being a transfer student. I was so excited for college because I thought it was this is a fresh start. I can be who I want to be here. I can make new friends. And freshman year was definitely tough. And then transferring sophomore year, I was a transfer. It wasn't the fresh newness of being a freshman. But it was still a great move for me. And we did so well there and kind of kept growing in rugby. And we didn't play much sevens for Quinnipiac. It was mostly 15s. But I did whatever I could to be noticed by the USA coaches.
Yeah, got ya. What can you give us a bit of insight? We're predominantly Australian audience. A bit of insight into the American college experience. We've obviously got amazing athletes from Australia who head over, and basketball's a pretty big one,
Yeah.
right? What was that experience like for you?
It definitely was not the classic college experience, but I think there's room to have that for sure. I did nursing as a major as well, which is a very time-consuming major. From my junior year to senior year, I had to do 12-hour clinicals 2 times a week. So I'd be going to hospitals all over Connecticut, and I'd have to miss practice or miss this. So it was definitely not the normal experience, but it's fun. I mean, we love sports. We're a sporting nation, and college athletics, when you're on a sports team in college, it's your personality. It's kind of who you are. I'm on the rugby team. Me, the rugby team has a party here. You're friends with this people. Being an athlete, I think, is kind of a place of pride and defines a lot of us. And I loved it. I loved that blending of having my friends on the rugby team and then also going out with them, but meeting the other people. It's cool. You go into college automatically with a friend group and then hopefully get to meet others. But it is also a lot. You're being a college athlete is not for the week. You're up at 6:30 a.m. We did a whole dry season as well. It was a rugby team doing a dry season.
It's
Just kidding.
unheard of.
I know. So we did a whole dry season, and so wasn't the classic one, but I wanted to have that classic college experience, and I had moments of it, snippets of it. But I also didn't have as many friends in college as I would have hoped for. It wasn't until I think later when I got into USA when I really started to, I think, figure myself out more and the person that I am and the friends I want to have.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, from that awkward kid, when you were at that college age, had you changed much or not until you got into that USA program?
I high school, I think there have been moments where I've been kind of not beaten down physically, but beaten down in how I view myself and thinking, I'm friends with people and actually not being that way or whatnot. So that's always been something I've always had trouble with, that making friends or believing people like me even a way. And so definitely a struggle, but I forget the question. God, what did you say?
Whether by college you had changed or
Oh,
not
right.
yet.
Okay. High school, I think I was still that kind of quiet kid. College started to figure out a little bit more. I don't think it was until my senior year when I started to play like club rugby. So in the summer, I played club rugby for a team in New York. And I think getting to experience maybe people who are living their life, it's not just college students. I really kind of found myself there. But I do think it was getting out, going to USA, and that boosted my confidence. Also being around that group of women, I think it's always really helped me.
So you're balling out in college, you're trying to impress the American coach, the
Yeah.
USA coach. When was like that first interaction or the first moment you're like, okay, I might be on here?
Well, I never thought about doing it. I don't think many females are like, many women are like, yep, I'm going to be a pro athlete. This is a realistic dream. I'm going to make so much money. Maybe now it is. But when I was growing up doing field hockey basketball, it wasn't realistic. We weren't planning on, I'm going to sign $1 million contract. This will be great. Let me just focus on sport. So I never thought to make this my thing. That's why I did nursing was, oh, I'm going to be a nurse and then play rugby. When I transferred it, my thing was, I don't actually have to play rugby, but I do want to go to a good nursing school. Thankfully, Quinnipiac had great rugby and great nursing. So the two just kind of married together. I don't think it was until like maybe during my junior year of college where it kind of tickled my mind. Like people kept saying, oh, you could be an Eagle. You could be an Eagle one day. And I was like, right, I don't understand what that means. So it wasn't until junior year I kind of thought about it, but it's a kind of scary dream to have, right? To go to the Olympics, to kind of take what you've been worked so hard for with nursing and with something that you'll have a job for the rest of your life with nursing and whatever your degree is. So to kind of put that to the side and go on this. So then I decided to play the club rugby, and that was kind of my first of trying to get into the eye of the coach for USA. And then senior year, I went to a couple tournaments with the team in like Barbados and Vegas, and I balled out there as well. Really a great time playing club rugby. I was killing it back in the day.
Though.
Yeah, great places to go.
Love that.
And I really, knew that those were my moments where I wanted to be seen. And so in Vegas, I played really well and got the call to come out to the center. And I mean, I remember going to these nursing professors like, do you think I should do this? What do you think? It was also a chance. It was kind of the thing back in the day where they'd say like, yeah, we're interested in you. You wouldn't hear from them. They said they want me to come out to a camp in May, and then I didn't get my flight plans until like I think 3 days before.
Whoa.
But I was like ready to go. And so I was talking to my nursing professors, and they said, there'll always be sick people. But the Olympics kind of won in, a very small chance. So I decided to have my boards out in California. I planned for it all and kind of did the leap to go play. And I think it was on for like a 3-month thing. Wasn't getting paid, was living in team housing, but I got selected for the first tour. And then I think a month later got selected for the World Cup, and that was kind of the start of it.
And how was that experience for you?
I don't think I should have been there, 1,000%. Which should not have been on that team. I had no idea what was happening. I'd only been at camp for like 2 weeks. That's how it used to be, though.
Totally. Totally. They were just like, new players, you've got potential.
You showed out.
Have a go.
Put them on there.
Have a go
100%.
Against the rest of the world. See what happens.
Hey, you don't know our defensive system. That's fine. So I don't know if I should have been there, but I'm so grateful I was there to start me off. I wasn't sure what was happening. I think I did 2 minutes about each game, but I scored a pretty good try against Spain, my first ever try, and I cut in, and I felt really good. I was pretty cool afterwards. I looked cool. I remember what I saw.
Did you do a try celebration?
No, I'm always chill with it. I was like, that's what I do. And so I do remember that, but I don't think I should have been out there, but I'm so happy. And then for the World Cup as well, I don't know if I should have made that team as well. But I was just with rugby, you can also have, and especially sevens, you just have some stellar athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I was a stellar athlete, and I also knew the game. I didn't know the sevens game as well,
Got
but I
ya.
also knew it because a lot of people coming into rugby in the U.S. hadn't ever really played,
Mm.
whereas I'd played for 4 years in college. So yes, I hadn't played sevens, but I knew rugby. So being selected for that World Cup team was so cool. I scored a big try against Russia to put us through to like the semifinals. And then I found my place. I think we got a new coach, and in September, I felt like I knew it and I was part of it more. Like I deserved to be here
Mm.
and played really well, I think, in Glendale. And then that was kind of the start of the journey.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, wow. I remember that period of time, I feel like, because looking at the Aussie team, we were a lot of like touch footballers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was like chat, even during Rio, there was chat from the New Zealand coach, and there was this article, our coach stuck this article up in our change room ahead of the gold medal match in Rio. And the New Zealand coach said that we didn't like contact, we shied away from the breakdown, and
Yeah.
that we were like small and didn't like it. But I felt like that period of time, USA, New Zealand in particular, were working out that contact area of the game was huge. Like
Mm-hmm.
sevens had almost been like quite expansive, quick, but then I feel like you guys almost worked out the power part of it was a huge part of the game. Like I feel like players like Tapper and you coming
Yeah.
in kind of shifted that.
I think since I've been on the team, we've been trying to find our identity. And I think the identity we've had is physical.
Yeah.
Being that we're big women, we're strong women. One thing about us is we're athletes. We want to be known as rugby players, but we're also athletes. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, we don't have the mindset of like, I wish I'd played touch because I watch it how they can go around and create space. We're going to create space by trying to, suck you all in and then
Yeah.
see what we've created from there. So it's always interesting to see how it's evolved and how our system has kind of changed and playing these other teams. Because I love watching, I love the way that Australia even plays because it's so different than us, the way they're willing to throw those passes and go around and create so much more. I think it's maybe more creative than us in some ways.
Yeah,
We're
got
trying to
ya.
get there, but I think
Yeah.
it's very creative what they do.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Tokyo,
Mm-hmm.
the postponed Olympics.
Yeah.
What was it like for you getting to pull on your national colours and represent your country at the Olympics?
It was, what everybody wanted. I think that I was fine with there not being fans there because I wanted to win a medal, but we all want to also have that title Olympian next to us. And so that was so amazing. So even though it wasn't the Olympics that we all had hoped for, I was so excited for it. I do remember when it was postponed, how sad I was. I was like, I got to do another year of conditioning, another year of this. Like, it was a daunting task.
It's not fun.
Not
that training
fun.
is not fun.
Not
People
fun.
are lying to you if they say it's fun.
No, like, I love the grind. I love it sometimes. Not all the time. And Tokyo was good, but we lost in the quarterfinals there, which is Australia did as well. It was just a weird tournament. It was a weird time. We hadn't played each other. Usually we play each other all the time, constantly on the series. We hadn't played these teams in so long. And then before Tokyo, we'd played GB like 6 different times in LA for a warm-up tournament. And we'd beat them every time, but every time the margin of win got smaller and smaller.
Okay.
And then the last game we tied them, which it was kind of an interesting take from our sports psych, was like, I should have capitalized on that. I should have said something about that. Because then we played them in the quarterfinals and they were like, well, we got better and better in that pre-tournament. Kind of USA kind of went downhill a little bit, but since we won everything, I was like, oh, well, we're set to go. I thought that was a really interesting take. And then they beat us in the quarterfinals. And it was hard. I really suffered with like post-Olympic blues and depression after that. I don't know if you felt any of that as well. Even from winning gold, people can feel that. And it was a tough go for me. I felt like it was at times my fault, but that's sevens. It's an interesting game. It's a fickle game in that it's never one mistake that'll lose a game, but it is one mistake that will.
It just
lose a
turns
game,
so fast, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think that's spoken about enough, like that? And it doesn't necessarily have to be Olympics, but that post-Olympics blues and depression that people can go through after like it might be a pinnacle in terms of the event, but the result might go either way, and people kind of have that come down after that.
I think it's being talked about more, especially like with Michael Phelps's Weight of Gold documentary. I think I was just really aware that that's what I was in because I'd watched the documentary beforehand and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'd been talked to. I knew that that's what I had because, and even some of my teammates now were feeling it. I didn't feel it so much after this Olympics. I think because I felt very fulfilled and I was on a Dance with the Stars, so I was busy. I had my mind going. But I had some of my teammates who we'd won the medal and now they were just kind of back to training and the whole team was different. The whole culture was different. The girls you'd been grinding with for 3 years are gone. And I think a lot of my teammates struggled who I, chatted with because it's hard. You go from this event every 4 years. That's what everybody thinks of. And then, in our sport, you have a 14-minute game, which anything can happen. I mean, Australia had beaten us throughout, and then we somehow beat them in that bronze medal match. So it's like, it doesn't prepare you for that. And it's very hard afterwards. I know a lot of athletes go through that because it's a high of high and then it's like, all right, get back to your normal life. For a lot of athletes, it's truly get back to the office or whatever it is. So
can we talk about that bronze medal match? I don't know if I want to, but I think we probably should. That moment at the end of the game, can you just give us from your perspective, can you just describe that moment?
You know what? When Maddie Levi scored that second try, I actually remember feeling not stressed about it.
Okay.
I felt like, okay, that's fine. We're going to get the ball back and we can do something. Thankfully, they didn't make the kick. But then, so they kicked deep. And I remember the ball bounced. And I was like, if my teammate doesn't catch that. So she let it bounce in, but one of my teammates got it and she rucked over. And then we were in that zone, right, where you're not going to want to throw too wild of passes. You're right by your try zone. So I got it. I tried to do what I could. I was like, well, I gained us no meters. But I wanted to secure the ball, so I just kind of secured it. And so I'm on the ground. The ball's passed out to Spiff. And Spiff, I don't know what happened. Well, actually, I do know what happens. And this is actually a really cool thing about Spiff that I love telling people is actually in college one time, she was about to be tackled that way. She was kind of tackled over on the end and like fall on her head, and she broke her collarbone. So now she knows whenever she's about to be tackled that way, kind of like, when they grab the back of your jersey and pull you down, that she pushes her collarbone up. She pushes her everything up.
Okay.
So it was kind of an interesting thing. I was like, wow, what an effect that she learned that the hard way in college. Who knew that breaking your collarbone would translate to scoring the winning goal in the Olympics?
That's insane.
Isn't that crazy? I love that about her. So she knew she beat one tackle and then she's about to get that done on the other tackle. And she knows she starts driving up her collarbone. And the thing about Smith is she's crazy fast. And I think she's an underrated player. She's insanely fast. She just breaks away. I'm on the ground like, what the? I see her sprinting away and it doesn't register because I'm looking at I'm like, okay, time's about to be out. Trying to add it all up. She's going. So I start getting up and jumping. I guess my dad in the stands is like, where's Maddie Levi? Because if anybody's going to stop her.
She always comes from nowhere.
No, she comes from nowhere. And we know that. And so my dad was like, we were all excited, but we were like, where's Maddie Levi? And I think if you'd given her 5 more meters, Maddie could have had it. 10 meters, Maddie would have had it. I mean, that was desperation in that. So Spiff scores it, and then Naya's in there first, and then I'm in there second. But we hadn't calculated it in our heads. We were just so excited. We didn't realize we were tied there.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure what's happening. So I was like, what's that? And then we didn't have a kicker on the field. That was the big thing.
Oh, gosh.
All the kickers were off. But Spiff had been warming up her kick in warm-up, and she never does that. She just warmed it up because the coaches were like, well, maybe we'll just warm up your kick. Just because that's how they'd plan things. And so she's like, just warm up your kick. And I remember I get the ball. I'm still like kind of doing the math in my head. And they're like, get the ball to her. So I give the ball to Spiff like really calmly. I'm like, because I didn't want to take the kick. And I wouldn't have been mad if she'd missed this kick because that's so much pressure. I was like, here you go, Spiff. You do whatever you get. And I'm like, chill out, whatever happens. But I'm just looking at the uprights. Yeah. And she makes that. And it was it was crazy. And I don't think still doesn't feel real at times, but we really wanted that. And not saying Australia didn't. It would have been amazing for any program, as any team out there would want it. We wanted it for our team, I think, for funding and whatnot. And we got a big donation because of it.
Is that the Michelle Kang?
The Michelle Kang donation.
Huge.
We got $4 million because of that and because of what we'd done. I think the work was on the field and also off it. I mean, we were doing social media as well as a team, and people were loving it. So it was amazing. I really what we came for. Sometimes I'm sad we didn't celebrate it as much as we could have.
Okay.
USA almost put us on we were on a media tour. Like the next day
It
was like
looks like you guys were
crazy. It was
non-stop.
crazy. That night we win, the day we win, and then they make us do like a Today show at like midnight. So we can't go out and drink with our families. And then the next day from 11 to 11, it's a 12-hour media tour. And we're on with because NBC runs, so we're on with this. We go from this interview, this interview. And I'm sweating because it's so hot. We have these whole things on. Everybody wants to talk to the TikTok girl. So I'm having to talk to them, and they're like, it was just a lot. And I never felt like, that's a big regret. I never felt like I got to celebrate that with my team because we were just on, and then we were so tired afterwards. You played a whole sevens tournament, and then we were so tired. We were just went home, and a lot of girls left the Olympics early. And that's something where I get sad about because this was something we, had wanted for so long, and we did it. Yeah, it wasn't a gold, but to us, it felt like a gold. I mean, we were joking throughout the day. It was like rose gold because I think that was almost treated like a gold medal.
It felt like that.
Yeah.
From the outside, it felt like to you guys that was a gold medal.
I think it was. I think this scenario of it being the first medal, how we won it. I mean, that was an Olympic moment. That was probably one of the best moments of the Paris Olympics was Spiff running across that field. So that was a gold. I mean, the media cared about us. It was a big thing, and I feel very fulfilled that we did that.
Yeah, really
I know
cool.
it wasn't number one, but it felt like it.
Yeah, cool. The TikTok piece, it was Tokyo you blew up already.
Yeah.
When did you start to notice the type of content that people were really engaging with?
I think I've always tried to have my almost finger on the pulse of what people like. I never wanted to pigeonhole myself into just a rugby niche.
Yeah.
Because that's a very small niche in the world, and that's not a very financial heavy niche in terms of marketing and whatnot. So I never wanted to just be rugby. I think at the start I was doing some rugby content, but going into Tokyo, I remember I made just some content on, I think, being single in the village, and I was like, oh, people respond to this. I saw the people responding to it because people love watching that. They watch Love Island, they watch The Bachelor, and so I just thought it was funny because there was all the talk about the cardboard bed. So I kind of am always forecasting. I'll look through my media. Okay, we're talking about this. Let's see which way I can spin it. Or people love to see this. Let me see if I can spin it this way. So nothing's out of bounds for me. I make jokes about myself. I make jokes for, others. But I just think that the way social media can reach people and how it's changed my life has been, crazy. And that's what all female athletes want, right? We want sponsorships, we want deals, and I found that was the way to do that.
Have you found it weird, do you almost feel like people are surprised that you are a whole well-rounded person? Do you think sometimes people put athletes in a box of thinking you're a rugby player or you're something else? Are people almost taken aback that you are funny and well-rounded?
I think they feel that a lot of ways with athletes. They're shocked when they're funny or something, when they have a personality, because main part, you should just be on the field, focus on your sport. Well, that's for 3 hours in the day. What about the other parts in the day when I'm chatting with my teammates? So I have found that. I think people are I always got the comments, oh, you're not taking it seriously, or, focus on your sport. But athletes are some of the funniest people I know. I mean, we're with each other every day. We're in the locker room, joshing with each other, cracking jokes. So it is interesting that they put us in a box. You should just be doing this, and you only can eat this, and you only should say this, and all you should be thinking about is rugby. But I'm in the Olympic Village in Tokyo, and we go train for 2-3 hours, and then I'm stuck in a village. It's COVID.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of time to do stuff. You can watch Sevens film for, 14 minutes, and then you're kind of done. So I've never liked that. And then on the opposite side, now people have put me in the box of the content creator and don't believe in me so much as the athlete, which is so interesting. I'm like, I still want a rose gold medal.
I like how in your head it's just become
I
gold.
just love it.
I
respect
respect it.
It's a gold.
I respect it. I'm going to give
medal.
you that.
Thank you so much.
You
It's kind of in the light. You squint a little bit. They forget about that as well. That also they can't be, if you're a content creator good at content, you're not actually a good athlete. You're just a mid athlete. And that always fires me up because I'm an athlete first. I'm a rugby player first. And then the influencer content creator side is just something I do.
Mm,
Even though that's what makes me all my income, I want to be an athlete first. Yet
mm.
they think that because of that, it takes away from it.
Yes, it is almost this belief that you can only exist doing one thing well,
Yeah.
almost at a time.
That's always been interesting and one guy at the Olympics, Hank Green's brother, he made a TikTok about it. Like, people usually are good at one thing,
Right.
but he liked that I was really good at both things.
Yeah.
And there's more athletes that could be. I just think they're not encouraged to. Maybe it's the American mindset of, like, we're very much so every man for himself. I want to be the best, me, me, me. Maybe that's a little bit what's in me is like, I want to succeed. I want to get sponsorships. I want to be able to live a comfortable life through sport and media. So I'm going to put myself out there. Whereas I remember when I was in New Zealand for the World Cup, I wasn't playing, but I was just there 3 years ago. I learned to like tall poppy syndrome.
Yes.
And kind of cutting it down. And I think that's very rampant in rugby as well. It's always when you hear the boys talking about the game. So you just won player of the match. You scored 5 tries, 2 individuals, and they're like, all the boys,
Full credit to the boys.
Full credit to the boys, all that, So there is something about it. Maybe it's the difference in culture. I think it's shifting a little bit because it doesn't take away from my rise has actually risen my whole team and the whole sport in general. So I think that hopefully it's shifting. Rugby is a very stoic sport full of a lot of men, a lot of older white men who have a very maybe older view of what it should be. Even I think the men's players even probably get it worse than I do. They're so supposed to be on the field, do your job, that's it. You can't have a personality. They're made fun of for personality, or say if they lose a game and they post a TikTok the day before, they'll be like, it's because of the TikTok.
Or even the Jasmine Joyce example, was that did you see that one?
Oh my gosh.
Of like her doing the TikTok and she got slammed.
Hilarious. I thought the video was great.
It was amazing.
And that's what I love. And I messaged them both and I said that you're starting conversations. And as my dad says, all press is good press. And you're bringing yourself up. Now people know about Jasmine Joyce and now people know about Sarah Byrne. Like, Sarah Byrne's been putting out great content as well. I just think that people can't separate the two. That you have to be this athlete and that's it. Jasmine Joyce is one of the best players in the world, one of the best tacklers in the world. The girl's also funny as heck.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take away from her ability to tackle.
You touched on this idea of like you succeeding helps others to rise. Bez, my co-host of our weekly podcast at the Female Athlete Project, would die at that because she's obsessed with the phrase "a rising tide lifts all boats," and we talk about it a lot. It's part of our new merch. But I see what you're doing from your content, and I feel like that to me is what you're doing. I feel like you have grown a huge amount in terms of your following, but I feel like everywhere you go, you lift other people up. You tag other people, you include them in your content. I feel like you've really been able to leverage what you've achieved to help grow women's sport and women's rugby. Is that quite a strategic thing, or is that just a pretty natural thing for you?
I think it's natural in a way. I've always been a team sport athlete. I think it's also strategic because, well, I just make the jokes now as everyone keeps calling me the superstar of rugby, and I'm like, I'm tired. We cannot have one because that's not enough for our sport. We need more. We need people to go out and watch Sarah Byrne play and go out because they want to see Jasmine Joyce play or Charlotte Caslick. Like, we need that. It can't just because, like, oh, Ilona is playing, let's go to this one game. Like in the PWR. That was my thing is in the PWR, I was scared. Yeah, it's great we're getting out these numbers for these games that I'm playing in, but I'm probably not going to play next year. Are we still going to get the numbers? We need more to grow the game. I think I'm at a comfortable point, too, where, I mean, not that I'm untouchable, but I've worked very hard and I've, grown. I just don't see it as like I don't think I'm ever going to get bashed down or something like that. I'm not afraid of somebody coming over and overtaking me. If somebody overtakes me, awesome. That's great. Like, let's get another superstar because I'm, again, very tired, okay? I cannot do more interviews, okay? I cannot. So can we get more? Like, I want these girls to rise up, and I give them little pointers, like, do this, do this. It's about now, I think, them taking it and being prepared, and it's a vulnerability they have to have. It's a very vulnerable thing to put yourself online like that. And I think they're doing it. I just am trying to be like the catalyst for it. Like I make a lot of videos for my teammates. Like Sarah Byrne, I would make a video in Bears and I would give me your phone and I would create it and then post it for her, just because I have the mind of it. And so I send videos to my teammates constantly, like, this is a great video for you, go make it, because like, it's just rising tide lifts all boats. If we can all just if all of us keep getting better, the sport keeps getting better, we all get more notoriety. So it just has felt natural, and I think that my teammates are some of the best people around there. I wouldn't be where I am without them. Like, I wouldn't be this confident without Nia Tapper making me feel so good about myself all the time, or Nicole Haviland, my best friend, who always helps me. So I just want there to be more stars. I think we need that. I think we need people to go out to games to see individuals.
Yes.
That's fine. That's what is making sports rise. Like, when you think of Ronda Rousey for the UFC, they went out to see Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
If you go out to see me and then you get exposed to these other players, that's awesome. That's what we want.
Yeah. You touched on the vulnerability piece, and it just made me think of you as that awkward kid who would linger on the outside of the circle. Like, it's a pretty stark change to now be in a position where you do feel so comfortable to be vulnerable in front of a global audience.
I don't know how I got there fully. I think it was the teammates around me who make me feel confident to do that. The story I tell about Nia Tapper always is, being a big girl, I would look around and see my other teammates on USA and they wouldn't be eating that much. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to eat as much as them. And then we were at a buffet once and Nia Tapper goes to me like, no, you should be eating more. You're a big girl. That's a fact. You know, she didn't say that, but I was like, oh, that's a fact. I'm a big girl. I need to eat more. And so having somebody who's like a sport like rugby that just praises that, I'm really so going off on tangents and I forget what I'm saying.
I'm here for it.
The social kid, the social awkward kid. So I don't really know how I've gotten over it. I'm definitely very awkward at heart. I think what I've done is now just accepted it. And I think awkwardness is a thing that also brings people together and makes people feel comfortable. So when I am awkward, if in some way I'm awkward to you and then you're like, okay, she's kind of weird, perfect. Like, we're now you feel better about it to hang out with me.
Totally.
So I don't mind the awkwardness. I've kind of controlled it. I can make any situation awkward, truly. But I think it's a kind of a power to have of making people feel comfortable and connected and not feeling judged. And I still, at many times, I think I'm trying to actually figure out still who I am and step into that role and believe that I can be that role. Believe that I'm the boss businesswoman now and that I deserve to be that and that I have power now. And that's something I'm really trying to hone in on, is that, you know, when I walk into a room, I am Ilona Maher. I've done a lot of work to get there, but there's still lingering insecurities constantly.
Can we talk about the CNN imposter syndrome
Yeah, of course.
interview?
I'm always shocked they posted that. I was like, why would you post that?
I was that went absolutely viral, and it resonated with a lot of people. Were you just like, why did you ask me that, lady?
Well, I get asked that a lot. So,
do you?
Oh yeah. I posted a video before, like weeks before, about it because she'd asked me, and I was like, I'm not. So then I posted a little TikTok, not saying anything who it was, but posted about the imposter syndrome because I always get asked that. I'm like, oh, how do you deal with it? I'm like, what are you talking about? I was at practice earlier. I was working my butt off earlier, you know? So this idea, I think this forced humbleness on women, I don't appreciate. And I think that women are almost told to have it because then it will seem good. You'll seem really approachable. You know, you don't want to be too much. It's if you say, and people just say they have imposter syndrome, I think to say it to seem like coy and humble. But I think it's a false sense of humbleness at times. There's times to be humble, but a lot of times these women work so hard. And a lot of times if they're in a role, they are supposed to be there. There's been studies out, you know, for coaches. A man can play middle school basketball and he's like, yeah, I can coach the high school basketball team. That'll be fine. A woman will be like, I didn't make the WNBA. I probably can't coach this team, you know?
So true.
So we're overqualified at times, and yet we still don't believe that we deserve to be there. And I just find it to be so funny. And whenever people say they have imposter syndrome, I'm like, what are you talking about? You've worked so hard. You can have it, of course. If you have it, you have it. But I think don't forget how hard you've worked, and don't let people minimize that. It's not maybe boasting. It's just about it's a fact. You've worked to get there. You've worked hard to get there. Don't let somebody think that false modesty is the key.
A couple of questions that I ask everyone on the podcast is, firstly, who has had the biggest impact on you as a person?
Probably my sisters as a duo. I think that my older sister, for sure, we were always very similar in age, similar in hanging out. We did a lot of things together. And then even my younger sister now, I think that they're my influencers. I call them. Whatever they do, I do, and then the world sees and they do. So having sisters is a blessing, and having sisters who are supportive, who look like you, who love you like that, really helps you go through, I think, the world and the challenges.
How's it been doing the podcast with your sisters? It's epic.
It's been good. It's been good. I think it's kind of weird because it's just us on our, chatting like how we do all the time on video calls. So it's been fun. Sometimes I'm like, we just keep talking because we have so much more we can say. But it's been really fun. And also to get, again, rising tide lifts all boats. Like for me, I'm lifting, and cool to see my sisters come with me as well. It's been fun. We have so much we want to talk about, and I've been so busy with rugby. I want to get it so we can just do it constantly, just say what's happening, going on in our days, because I don't think we've ever been afraid to share. We've never been afraid to show people real women and our thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, I love that. Next question is, what has been your favorite failure?
Favorite failure?
Thank you.
I never failed. No, I'm just kidding. Favorite failure? That's good, because I'm always asked, like, what would you want to change from, what would you go back and tell your younger self? What would you want to change? And I think, like, failures like that, like, everything has led to where I'm at now. In a way, my failure was the friends that I didn't make, I think, or the friends that I thought were my friends at times. Those little things and those little experiences are what kind of led me to this path now. Like, it's hard to explain. It's very, like, personal things, but the relationships that I thought I had that weren't actually right, like, those little failures in a way, I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change how hurt I was, how much it changed me. I think it's what has led me to here. And, young Ilona, she was so brave and strong to go through that. So I think the failures, I love that. Favorite failure. Oh my gosh. I'll have to keep thinking because there's so many.
Yeah. It stumps, but I should have given you a
Do you
heads
have
up
one? What's your favorite failure?
My favorite failure, I went to an interview for a women's sports podcast with a gambling company. I won't name which gambling company it was. And I rocked up. I'd finished sevens. I was playing AFLW at the time. I'd moved down to Melbourne. And I rocked up to this interview, and I think it was going to be like a very casual podcast, but I rocked up with like pages of paper of like notes that I'd prepared to like be ready. And I was so nervous. And I ended up, after I stood up, I was not myself at all in the interview. I was really, really like awkward, and I didn't really speak my mind at all because I was so worried about them judging what I was saying to see whether I'd be good on the podcast. And I stood up, and I remember I dropped my papers all over the floor, and I was mortified. And I didn't get the job.
Okay.
But only a few months later, I started the Female Athlete Project, and it's grown to be it gives me the most purpose.
Oh, yeah.
More than sport ever has, playing sport ever has. Like, waking up and doing this every day has given me so much purpose. And I'm so glad I'm not sitting hosting the podcast on a gambling company for their women's sports podcast.
There you go. Bing, bang, boom. That worked out, huh?
I like that.
I love the little moments that you don't realize it and then lead to this where you're at now.
That's why I like that question. Is it snack time? Are we doing Aussie snack time?
Snack time.
Snack time. Snack time. Okay. Thank you to Aussie icons, Budgy Smuggler. We're going to rank 7 iconic Aussie foods. What do you want to start with?
Let's start with the sprinkly toast thing here.
Fairy bread.
Fairy bread. Did you make this?
This
right?
is iconic. Producer Sophie's made this from scratch. This is like kid's birthday party. Like, you want fairy bread at a kid's birthday party.
Great lines here. You killed the border. Hold on. Okay. Okay.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's sprinkles on toast. Like, what are you gonna, It's just butter and sprinkles, right? My mom is Dutch, and they have something like this.
Oh, she's Dutch.
This white bread's really slapping too.
Can't go wrong.
That is basic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
I'm gonna keep going while you.
Do I have to rank it now or can I wait? Can I go through all and then rank?
I feel like you have to rank it now.
Ah, okay, fine.
Rank it now, and then if you hate it, we'll rank at the end, and we'll pretend you never ranked
Okay,
it.
perfect. Rank that 3.
Alright.
Okay. These are shapes, I'm assuming.
Shapes. Pizza shapes.
Love shapes.
Mm.
It's like a pizza goldfish.
What's a goldfish?
That's crazy. It's it is literally just it's a cracker in the form of a fish, and we love them.
Pizza flavored?
Yeah, they do pizza flavored, regular flavored.
Because I would say barbecue shapes are better.
These are good.
Okay.
I'm liking these.
Where are we going?
I just know there's a Tim Tam. That'll probably be 1.
Probably.
So I'm gonna go 2. I like pizza shapes.
Gone high early.
Oh wait, what's this?
Have you
Oh,
had a
no.
caramel koala before?
Caramel koala. I'll probably love it. Can't wait.
You've gone really high early, I reckon.
I know. I just see that Vegemite and I know that bad boy's hitting a 7.
Oh, that low, you know already.
Well,
It's a nice
maybe
spread.
if there was cheese on there, producer. Maybe if we weren't skimping around here, put some real cheese on this.
Or ham, if you like.
Or some ham. I thought that's what you did.
I'm going caramel.
Mm-hmm. Delicious.
First time?
I don't think I've had this before. Very good.
Beautiful.
But aren't the Aussie Girls sponsored by Cadbury?
Yes.
What a sponsor to have.
Great sponsor. So these you can get them in a bigger koala, and lots of people, when they were fundraising for sport, would carry around a box and sell them for $1. It was a very iconic part of a sporting childhood in Australia.
Yeah. We would do something like that with bars, Snickers and whatnot.
Fredo Frog.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Where are you going to put it?
What are your thoughts on Hershey's versus like American chocolate versus Cadbury?
That's a tough question. I find Hershey's is quite sweet in comparison. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Like the little kisses. I do quite like a little kiss.
They're fine.
Oh.
I think like Cadbury's better.
What's like, when you're talking Hershey's, what's your go-to Hershey's?
The thing is, the only time I'm gonna eat a Hershey's bar is if it's in a s'mores. That's the only right. That's the right time to eat a Hershey's bar.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Toasted marshmallow with some graham cracker. That's the only chocolate I think I eat with a s'more too.
What's in a Hershey's bar? Is it just plain chocolate?
Yeah, milk chocolate.
Like a Cadbury block?
Yes.
Yeah, got ya.
But different.
Sweeter.
Sweeter. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That was delicious. I'm now ranking a 4, I guess. These are all very good. You should have thrown in some really nasty ones. Okay, what's this? What is this?
Oh, Lamington. I like a Lamington.
You know what? I might have tried this like a year ago with like Maddie Levi. Oh, is this milk? Bring in.
Oh, Milo. Have you done Milo?
No. Is it just chocolate powder?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I love Tim Tams with some tea. Okay.
Not that fast.
No, man.
I just spat coconut
5
at you.
you're good. 5. I'd give it a 6.
Oh, it's low.
Yeah.
So they do it with like old sponge. Like this is not old sponge. This is from the supermarket, but that's like the concept. Old sponge, and then they soak it up in chocolate. 6.
I don't know about it.
6.
6.
Where are we going next? Tim Tam.
Timber Tammer? Well, let's go Vegemite so I can wash it down with some. I'm scared. Maybe I will like it. Okay, here we go. I don't know how to look like her. I think it would be better with cheese. What is that? Almost a burnt taste or something to it.
It's got something about it. Because it's salty, right?
Yeah.
In its essence, it's very salty.
Yeah.
Too much?
I think I would eat it with cheese.
Okay.
We'll
take the feedback on board.
But I'm still ranking that a 7 for sure.
Okay.
I don't know the point of that. is it good for your microbiome or something?
It
Your gut
probably
health?
is, to be honest. Who?
There we go.
Nice.
That's why. Aussies just
That's it.
got a lot of vitamin B12 around these parts.
Do you want Milo or Tim Tam next?
Let's go with the Milo because I've tried before.
Yeah, scoop it in.
And by tried Tim Tams, I mean I've eaten a lot of Tim Tams in my day. Okay.
Milo is like, some people do the ratio of the cup is almost completely Milo. Like it's like thick.
I will.
We might need to give you a bit more.
A solid glass of milk.
Yeah, but you don't have a lot of room to work with.
I'll just
But
do.
good luck to you. Are you lactose free? We just got full cream.
No, I drink dairy. Is this like Nesquik? I think it's probably Nesquik.
I reckon it's better. I reckon it's way better.
Yeah, well, you guys would say that. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna mix well.
Just, I reckon, get a top bit, but don't breathe it in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. It's like a pudding. That was a little gritty. Let me just taste it on its own. It's Nestle. Huh. Okay. This is probably not advised, but
Oh, you're going solo powder.
yeah, well, like it's not mixing well.
Okay.
Delicious. One thing about me, I love instant like hot chocolate,
Okay.
and it's giving that.
This is our gift to you.
Oh my gosh, thank
The open can of
you.
Milo.
You don't want to fly with it?
Yeah. Hot
Yeah,
is
can you?
good. Yeah.
Oh, all
Hot
right, I'm
is
down.
good, right?
I'm
I do
down.
love a cold Milo though. I'll get there. It's just too hard with my mouth.
It's a tough one to stir. I almost need a cocktail shaker.
Do you want me to give you a proper stir of your Milo? It's a skill, I reckon.
Get in there. How much Milo are you drinking?
As a kid, dead set.
Yeah.
It was like a get home from school,
Yeah.
a daily activity. See, it's a skill. You got to like build up the tornado, and it just gradually.
Right.
Look at that. All right, what do we next? Wait, where'd you rank Milo?
Milo's delicious. I'm gonna give it a 5.
See, sad. It could be higher.
It could be higher, but my whole ranking system is off. My whole ranking system is in the gutter. Thank you.
I don't know if it's that much better, but you got a bit more going on.
Still gritty, and I'm chewing it, but it's good. Yummy. All right, Tim
We
Tam.
know where this is ending up.
Yum yum. No tea, producer. Oh my god. This is a prison. I can't work in these conditions. Delicious.
Good dip in the Milo. Not bad. No, it's not the same as tea.
Yeah, so good.
Can't go wrong. You
Mm-mm.
can't go wrong with a Tim Tam.
Are Tim Tams always double chocolate?
I think this is standard. You can get double coat. Have you had the double coat? The blue, dark blue pack.
I have.
They're good.
I've also the caramel.
It's like a caramel koala in a
Mhm.
Tim Tam. Yeah, caramel ones are good.
Yummy. Delicious.
Okay, that's number 1.
Number 1.
Redo your rank from now. Wait, because have you had everything?
Got everything.
What's your 7?
7's still Marmite. 6 is still the sponge cake. 5 is the sprinkles. Fairy bread. 4 is the Milo. 3 is the pizza shapes. Then caramel koalas and Timmy Tammys.
Pizza shapes were way higher than I thought
You
they
know
would
what?
be.
And I am gonna eat them again. I actually am really messing with these. So
Did
so
you call
maybe-
them Timmy Tammies?
Timmy Tammys. Yeah. No one's ever called them that. They have to have called them that here.
I like that a lot. Amazing. Are we happy with that segment? I feel like it's weird to go serious after doing that very fun segment. But I'm genuinely very thankful for your time. For someone who gets pulled in, I imagine, a crazy amount of directions, I'm really thankful for you giving us the time and space to come and have a chat. And for your vulnerability as well, for sharing your story. So thank you so much, Ilona.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome to end with snacks. what I only request is awesome. No, thank you. And this is so cool what your podcast is doing for sport, not only in Australia and the world. I mean, it's so cool to see the numbers you guys are doing all over, and I get shared posts from you guys so much, and you're covering sports of every realm. So I think that's really impactful because it's, as I say, it's not just rugby that's changing lives, it's every sport. And if you can do any sport and see what your body's capable of, it's important. So
Awesome. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
thank you. And thank you for my
Thank you.
shapes.
Yeah, more pizza
I
shape
had like
time.
3 in my cheek while I was saying it.
I love that. How good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you.